All right. What's up, guys? Let me get situated here. Today is a Monday. Happy Monday, guys. There was no Monday message of the day today. And we're going to get into that in today's episode. Let's see. I did train jiu-jitsu this morning and then Muay Thai, and that was amazing. I feel so good because if you guys follow me on Instagram, I recently had a few injuries. The first one was kind of a rib thing, and so I was out for about a week and a half. Actually, I think it was 2 weeks total. And then I came back and I pretty quickly got a neck injury. It was really unfortunate, and I took about a week off for that. And then I was in the gym and I was at least observing and just being there and being a part of class, even though I wasn't able to really train. And then let's see, Sunday, which was yesterday, I went to open mat and I was able to do some really good just live training, which is nice. A lot of the people there, I was able to let them know like, hey, I just want to flow. I'm not aiming for a competition or to go hard or anything. And everyone was super respectful of that, and it was really awesome to roll with them. I left so happy. And then this morning I trained Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu back to back, and I just felt so good. And I love being able to train. So I'm feeling really good. It's a Monday. We have a lot to talk about, guys. So for today's episode, it is going to be a solo episode. So with that, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Evolve with Emily show. I am your host, Emily Hayden. And before we dive in today, I do have 3 things for you. Actually, 4 things for you. Let me go ahead and add to the list. Number 4. Okay, so the first one is that June is my birthday month, and we are celebrating all month. So happy birthday to all of my June twins out there. My birthday is June 15th. I'm not going to lie. I really, really love my birthday, and I love it because it is smack dab in the middle of the year. I feel like it's my own personal new year. It's a perfect time for reflection because it's middle of the year. It's just June 15th, 6:15. Yeah, I don't know. It's just my favorite. I'm so happy with it. Thank you, God, for such a good birthday. It's, if you're OCD, I think you'll understand. Or if you have a thing about like numbers or whatever, I think that's where that comes from. But yeah, it's my birthday month. We're celebrating all month, and I'm actually taking a little bit of a slower month when it comes to work this month. And it's not actually in relation to my birthday, but I'll get into the real reason later in this episode. The second thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that Summer Smash is this weekend, and I will be there. The First Form Summer Smash event is the most incredible event of the year. It's crazy. It's wild. It's like a music festival. It's like a huge family gathering. It's seriously one of my favorite events ever. So I really look forward to meeting you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys there, as well as see a bunch of faces that attend every single year. Can't wait to see you guys. The third thing is that Alphalete is having a launch this Saturday, which will be June 11th. So June 11th, this Saturday, there's going to be a launch of the Amplify collection. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I am wearing one of the Amplify sets that is releasing. And I don't remember the exact color, the exact name of this color, but it's a really dark, deep brown, and it's beautiful. I love it. But they have a lot of really beautiful colors launching. And if you guys don't know, Amplify is my all-time favorite fit from Alphalete. So if you get any legging or any short, let it be the Amplify. And I think I did decide the other day that I do like both. So they have, the leggings, they have shorts releasing in different lengths. And I do like the shorts, but I think I feel like 100% always comfortable and always good in the shorts that are a little bit longer, because if I feel like I can kind of like hike them up a little bit to be like the shorter shorts if I want, or if I'm wanting a little bit more coverage on the leg, I can have that as well. So that's just kind of my take on it. But huge announcement with that. My Alphalete code, which is always my full name, Emily Hayden, is actually now a discount code. So you guys get a discount off of the product. So if you are purchasing Alphalete, make sure to use my discount code, Emily Hayden, because now you will get money off. Yay. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is if you guys choose to support the show from purchasing any products from any partners of the show, which currently is just Cured Nutrition, then I really want to thank you guys by doing a giveaway, and I will choose multiple winners. So be sure to email your receipt from any Cured Nutrition purchase to evolvewithemily@gmail.com. So make sure to check out Cured Nutrition. The link is going to be down below. The business is such an incredible business that I actually have been friends with the owner for years now. I actually supported their first products that they released, which were spices and this, it was like this cookie dough, this nighttime cookie dough that relaxed you and put you to sleep. And it was amazing. But this isn't like a random brand that I'm partnering with. It's a brand and someone that I've known for a very long time. And one of the things that I love is the core values that the brand stands on. And one of those is just being a brand with integrity. There's a lot of CBD companies out there, and there's a lot of brands that just, they'll slap a CBD label on a bottle, and what's actually inside of there is really not what you guys think it is. And it's really unfortunate that the CBD, the industry itself has really blown up recently in a sense where people are really taking advantage of the fact that they know that it's kind of like a hot topic. This is not a brand that does that. So if you have previously had a bad experience with CBD, I really encourage you to try some of the Cured Nutrition products. If you guys want to check out some of my favorite products, just go to www.curednutrition.com/Emily Hayden. And from there, it'll say shop my favorites, and you can click on that and see all of my different favorites that I have on there. I wanted to take you guys through some of those right now. The Relief Bundle has been really incredible for my recovery, and especially with jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and just bodybuilding training, all the weightlifting that we do. It's been really nice to use the Relief Bundle for that. So the roll on CBD has been amazing for just releasing the tension in the muscles, for the aches, the pains, and recovering from the few different injuries that I've gotten recently. And you'll see on there I have different products. The dog treats, my dogs absolutely love. They're small, so I just give them half of a treat. The Euphoria drink is absolutely amazing. If you guys want to replace your coffee, this is definitely, or energy drink, definitely go for this. I definitely sometimes still drink energy drinks, but I know that this makes me feel way better consistently. I always get a crash from energy drinks. So if you want to be healthier and enjoy something that tastes amazing, definitely try out the Euphoria drink, which is just absolutely incredible. But what I really wanted to share with you guys today is the sleep bundle. A lot of people are not getting quality sleep. They either have issues falling asleep or they have issues staying asleep once they do fall asleep. So the sleep bundle actually, it goes and it gives you a solution for both of these problems that a lot of people have. So the Zen, which is, it's two products the sleep is. So it's the Zen, and then it's also the CBN oil. So the Zen is a blend of functional mushrooms, cannabinoids, and adaptogens. And the CBN is a lesser known cannabinoid found in the hemp plant. These supplements were designed to support the two most critical stages of your body's natural sleep cycle, REM sleep and the non-REM deep sleep. The Cured's raw CBN oil contains 30 milligrams of CBD and 5 milligrams of CBN. So together, the CBN and the CBN create a synergistic whole body effect. When it starts to kick in, you'll notice every inch of your body soften into a deeper state of relaxation, as if you're laying beneath the comfort of a weighted blanket. Once you're asleep, Zen is there to ensure that your body is successfully cycling out of non-REM deep sleep into REM and back again. So whether you can't fall asleep or you can't stay asleep, this is really such an amazing solution for you because it covers both of those. So right now, Cured is extending an exclusive offer to you, my listeners. You can grab Zen and CBN in the sleep bundle for an extra 20% off of Cured's already discounted price by visiting curednutrition.com/Emily Hayden and using coupon code Emily Hayden at checkout. With this extra discount, you're actually getting 36% off of the regular price. Yes, that's CURED nutrition.com/Emily Hayden and coupon code Emily Hayden at checkout to save an extra 20%. So improve your sleep, improve your life. You guys, sleep is one of the number one ways that you can start to improve your life. A lot of people are struggling with sleep these days, and I just think it's really important that you guys make it a priority. And once you do get amazing sleep, I want you guys to message me and let me know how it is, because it really just makes such a difference in your training, your nutrition, your recovery, even in your relationships. Imagine you coming and having a hard conversation with your significant other or family, and you're already exhausted, you're already tired and worn out. That version of you is going to be so different than the version of you showing up to that situation that has had rest, that feels, energized for the day and not drained and not exhausted. So Take care of your sleep, guys. Make sure that if you purchase a Cured Nutrition product, you email your receipt to evolvewithemily@gmail.com, and I will enter you guys for the giveaway that has been going on since May. So I will choose winners from May and from June, and it goes throughout the whole month of June. And again, that is the best way to support the podcast. Partnerships are just really important for moving forward with the show. So I really appreciate if you guys choose to support in that way. Now, let's get into today's episode topic. Today's episode topic is vulnerability. Now, everybody who has vulnerability issues just got really scared inside. They're like, oh God, I should turn this off. I feel you. It doesn't have to be scary though. Here's the thing. I think vulnerability is really important to talk about. And recently on my Instagram, I asked you guys a question. I asked, what prevents people from opening up and saying that they're struggling or that they need help or support from a friend or a family member? And I got so many engagements on this, so many answers back, but the most common answers that I got from this, from multiple people, were shame, fear of judgment, embarrassment, don't want to look weak, ego, pride, don't want to be a burden on others, have previously been hurt when opening up. So, previous hurt from friends that weren't really true friends. And here's the thing. I think at the root, guys, we are not all that different. Like, we all experience these same things. And I also think that at the root of it, we all really desire a place of non-judgmental love. And how beautiful is it that we, at different times in our lives, get to be that space of non-judgmental love for somebody else. It's hard to bring your mess to somebody. It's hard to say, hey, I messed up, or hey, I'm struggling, or hey, I'm not my normal, positive, happy self. Like, I'm in a really ugly spot, honestly. Like, I'm in a bad spot. It's hard to say that. It's hard to open up and to be that vulnerable with somebody. But here's the thing. If you don't open up, whatever you hide, it grows. There's actually, if you guys know Brene Brown, she is an expert on vulnerability and shame, and she really loves talking about these topics. And so I actually wrote down a few of the things that she had to share about empathy and shame and vulnerability. And she had a really good example to explain to shame, to really explain what happens when you don't address shame, when you don't allow anyone into that part of your life. And she said, if you put shame in a petri dish, it needs secrecy, silence, and judgment to grow. If you put the same amount of shame in a petri dish and you gas it with empathy, it won't survive. Vulnerability is our path to finding our way back to each other. So I want you guys to think about right now, what is something that you've been keeping kind of hidden in your closet? This could be things that you're engaging in that you know are not good for you. This could be struggles that you're having. This could be mental chatter that you would never want to say out loud. That really, if you're being honest, is really bad. It's really just a struggle that you've been having. And for whatever reason, you feel like you have to be quiet about it. Now, I'm not telling you to go and tell the entire world your deepest, darkest secrets or the most vulnerable parts of yourself. There's this really wise saying that says, don't cast your pearls before swine. And what that really means is don't give the most intricate parts of yourself to everybody. People have not shown you that they deserve that. Not everybody deserves the most intricate parts of you, and not everybody will respect that, cherish that, give you a safe space for that. I was talking to a friend through DMs, and when I asked that question, what prevents people from opening up, he brought up such an amazing point. And he said that he actually believes a lot of it is this victim glorification that we're having on social media right now, in the news right now, but I would say especially through social media. And it's like people that are truly going through something, they never want to be viewed as that. And here's what I'm talking about. The victim and glorification are the people who have figured out online that it's quote unquote trendy to be vulnerable. And I put vulnerable in quotations because these are people who have ill intentions for sharing vulnerable things, or people who have attached their entire identity to hard things that they've been through, which are real. And maybe they were somewhat of a victim at some point in their life, right? But these are people who have identified as a victim. These are people who have, put their anchor down and their ship, and they're standing with their, hands on their hips saying, this is who I am. And they're, oversharing to thousands of people online all the time, every day, every time that you go to their page. That's all that it's about. And I think a lot of it comes from a desire of wanting to be seen. I think a lot of it comes from, wanting to have everyone's sympathy. And here's the thing, people who do that, I think there's a few different people. I think people intentionally and knowingly do that because they understand that vulnerability is somewhat of a trend. And I hate even saying that, but it's true. And then some people intentionally know that they can they can use that for their advantage. They can use that in a way to get inside of people's heads so that they can verbalize what it is that you're thinking in order to kind of like manipulate you in a way to be a part of what it is that they're doing. And here's the thing too, there are other people that I think just maybe they haven't found a place to open it up. So they open up to social media and they open up and share those, really intricate details. And here's the thing, we are meant for community. We are not meant to go throughout life alone. I think it's great for people to open up. However, I don't think that we were designed as creatures to share every single intimate detail with hundreds of thousands of people online. I just don't. I think that there are some things that should be kept for you and your close friends and close family and therapist and people like that. I don't think that every single thing should be out there. And here's the thing, I understand that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that, you're wrong per se, but my opinion. And I just feel like, I'm always seeking wisdom in my life. I'm always trying to figure out what is the wise thing to do. And I know, at least for me in my life, the wise thing for me to do is to not cast every single pearl that I have before hundreds of thousands of people online. And that's just the way that I guide and direct my life. I respect that other people live their life that way. However, I don't really respect the victim and glorification that we're having online. And I do agree with my friend that it is playing into why people will not open up. Right? Why people who are actually going through things don't want to open up because they don't want to be seen that way. So with the intention of not wanting to be seen that way, they keep things hidden, keep things closed. They feel like they always have to be that positive source. They always have to have it together. They always have to have answers. And it creates almost like this prison within themselves to where they don't feel that they have anywhere to go to. Another friend had opened up and said, when that question was posed, what prevents people from opening up and saying that they're struggling? They said, who does the go-to guy go to? How true is that? Think about it. Think about the go-to person in your life, in your circle of friends, in your family. When's the last time that they opened up to you? It is hard. And here's the thing. I think what we have to do is we have to start to be really intentional about number one, what's going on inside of our own head and mind and life, and not running from it, not resisting it, but actually being okay with feeling it. And here's the thing, a lot of people want to avoid what it is that they're feeling. They feel like they have to have it all together. They want to be a positive source for other people, but yet the more that you avoid it, the more that you resist it, the more it's going to build up until it's just too unbearable. And then at that point, it's like the volcano is ready to erupt, right? It's going to erupt. And when that happens, it's going to be so much worse than if you had just opened up before it got to that boiling point. So I really want to encourage people to be aware of people in their life. Be aware of even the people that are at the gym and they're smiling and they're working hard and they're fist bumping you. They may be the very people that need a hug more than anyone else, right? That need a listening ear more than anyone else. And I also asked some friends, I was like, how do you feel when someone like finally opens up to you? And they said that they were like, it's the most amazing feeling in the world. Like, I love being able to be there for my friends and to be encouraging and to say a prayer over them in that moment, or to sit with them in it and be like, I don't have answers and this sucks and I'm sorry. And I kind of feel the same way, to be honest, right? Like, even just that togetherness something that we are really missing as a society is these deeply intimate connections. And we were created as deeply intimate creatures. And yet we have now created our quote unquote connections to be online. And yet we wonder why we feel like our souls are suffocating. It's because the connections that we're creating online, while they are fun and they are amazing and we're all thankful for them, right? There's all the good things about them. They are not hitting the most deeply intimate parts of ourselves that were meant to be met, loved, and cherished. Everybody desires to be seen, to be accepted, and to be loved. Yet we now live in a society where we are seeking those deeply intimate things from a very non-intimate space, from social media, from people who may not even value you or respect you. And then people are taking offense to that. They are getting hurt by people that don't even value and respect you. Why would you allow somebody like that to have a say inside of your life? Why would you allow people who don't even respect you and have no similar core values as you to have that kind of hold on your heart, on your mind, on your emotions? And it's, and I don't mean to be, I hope this is not like a negative podcast for you guys. I just really want to raise your awareness to these things. And I guess I should share like what kind of spawned, these thoughts in general. And it's just the really unfortunate fact that suicide rates are higher than ever. And at some point, we got to start addressing the root cause of these things. We really got to start addressing why. And something as simple as asking the question, what prevents people from opening up and saying that they're struggling or saying that they need help? I think even just getting this conversation can really help people to start to be aware of it and start to ask these own questions. Like, I'm not okay with what's happening. I'm not okay with the suicide rate being higher than ever in all these different communities. I think about even in the, police force, right? And how high that rate is. And it's so, so disheartening and it's heartbreaking, and I have friends who share they're getting these calls left and right. I have, friends that are saying it's just happening all the time. And it's like, they all say the same thing. Like, I wish that they would have called. And so my brain is like, okay, why are people not calling? Why are people not saying, hey, I am not good. I'm really not good. I'm really, really not good. Can you come over, right? Can I come over? Or I'm really not good. I don't know what to do, right? Like, why are we not having these conversations? And I think because by the time it gets to that point, we have not had any vulnerable conversation in a long time. When is the last time that you guys had a deeply vulnerable conversation with your friends and loved ones and family? At my Evolve retreat, I intentionally created every single event, every single moment with purpose and with intention. And oftentimes it was leading upon the last thing that happened. And I created it in order to have these deeply vulnerable moments that would create deep connection. And people actually said, they were like, I feel more connected to these people than I do to the people that have been a part of my life for a long time. And here's the thing, it's not necessarily, and yes, I agree, everyone there was special and they were amazing, but it's not that these people were different than a lot of the people that they have in their life. It's the intentionality, the willingness to be vulnerable, to say the deep and the hard things, and to really go there with each other. When is the last time, guys, that you were really real with the people around you? I'm not talking like, hey, how are you? Oh, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, no, okay, I've been struggling a little bit. Struggling a little bit. Does that really align with what you wrote down inside of your journal? Does that really align with the thoughts that you were having yesterday, this morning? Or are you completely brushing over the fact that you're going through a really difficult time and you don't know how to open up about it, right? And I think that's the thing too. I think people don't know how to open up about what it is that they are struggling with. They maybe don't know how to verbalize it. And then sometimes people feel like no one is going to be able to fix what I'm going through and what I'm feeling. So why would I talk about it? I don't want to complain and I don't want to be a bother, right? But again, if you are dealing with these thoughts and dealing with these things in secrecy, it's only going to grow and it's only going to make you go crazy. And you never know. It's not that someone else is going to come along and fix your problems or have answers or have solutions, but you have no idea. Like sometimes it's literally just someone being like, damn, like listening to you and being like, wow, I feel you. Like I've been there. Or, hey, like I haven't been exactly where you're at, but man, I'm actually struggling and this is how I'm struggling and this is what I'm going through, right? And you both look at each other like, yeah, none of us have answers, but for whatever reason, it feels a little bit better than it did before. And it's because we were created as these creatures that were wired for connection. And that connection doesn't always need answers and solutions and the next action steps to take. Connection is simply sharing and being vulnerable and being really real with each other. We got to get back to being intentional with our relationships. So I really want to challenge you guys. I want you to think about the people in your life that have proven to you that they deserve the honest version of you. And I don't mean that they've been perfect in your life, but I mean that they've shown you that they are trustworthy and that they truly want the best for you. These are not always the people that are going to tell you what you want to hear. Oftentimes it's the opposite. It's the person that you text and say, hey, what's your opinion on this? Because you know damn well they are not going to say something to appease your ears, but they're actually going to tell you how they truly feel and think about this thing while respecting your ultimate decision in it. So think about it. Who are these people in your life? And I've had people reach out and say, you know, I don't have this whole family support system and friend support system. I don't have any of these things. And I'm like, look, you have one person. You have one person in your life that you can open up to. I know that you do. If you're homeless, you have another homeless person that you can open up to. If you're at the gym, you have a trainer at the gym or a coach that you see all the time. You know, if you are at church, you have that greeter that always smiles and you smile back at them, right? Open, that's fine. Like sometimes you're not always going to have these relationships that you've had for years and years, but there is always one person that you can open up to. So I want to encourage you not to even find the people, find the person that you're going to open up to. Find that person and decide to actually be intentional with what it is that you talk about. We got to get back to having these real conversations and being real and being open and being vulnerable and being like, hey, I got to be honest. I feel like a failure. I got to be honest. I actually feel like a complete loser. I'm trying these things. It's not working. You know, instead of coming up to this whatever hangout or whatever session with your friend, instead of being like, yeah, I just working on this project and I have this going on and that doesn't do anything if inside you're screaming saying, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life right now and it's driving me crazy. Like you should just say that. You should literally just say that. Now, am I saying to go online and post that to thousands of millions of people? Use your own judgment. I don't think that that's the best decision. You guys know I always keep it real with you guys, and I always have done that. And I have shared a lot of very vulnerable moments with you guys, but I haven't shared everything. I genuinely don't believe that everything is for the general public. So I do believe that we can, especially people who are on social media, like myself, who have shared my life online, I do think the way that we lead is with our actions. And so I have chosen a lot in my life to be very vulnerable online. I believe that I'm learning in my life how much vulnerability and in what areas is wise to share with you guys. And that's something that I'm learning and growing and evolving through always at all times. So I think it's really important. The second thing that I wanted to share from Brené Brown was, she said, don't let fear stop you. It's not about winning or losing. It's about showing up and, I lost my place. It's about showing up and to be seen. If you're going to do this, you're going to get your butt kicked. If courage is a value that you hold, then this is a consequence of it. If you're not in the arena getting your butt kicked, then your feedback doesn't matter. So she's saying, don't allow fear to stop you from moving forward, from being vulnerable, from having these hard conversations. And also, you have to really recognize for example, if you're not in the arena getting your butt kicked, then your feedback does not matter to me, right? I think this really relates to the social media thing that I was talking about. When you share the most vulnerable parts of yourself and you say, I'm really struggling and this is really difficult for me and whatever, and then someone comments on your feed saying, something belittling you or judging you or putting you down or even making you have shame about this thing, and yet they're sitting at home eating potato chips on the couch. They're literally not even in the arena. So you have to take that mental note of that and delete the comment, block the comment, ignore it, and move on with your life. And that's why I think, sharing these things should be saved for people who are in the arena. They get it. They're a part of it. They're doing the thing. Because here's the thing. When you're in the arena and you're in the fight, you can be like, listen, I don't have answers for you. I just get it. Like, your hard is a different kind of hard than mine. That's not my same hard, but I respect it because I know my hard is hard, right? And those are the kind of people that you want to share these things with. Trust. How do you build trust? And Brene Brown says, trust is built by small moments. It's a sliding door moment. You earn trust with the smallest moments, and you can also lose trust the same way. To choose to not connect when the opportunity is not there is a betrayal. So trust is something that, you have to build, and it's going to come through your actions. It's going to come through your actions and your words matching, and recognizing when somebody else in your life, when their actions and their words match with yours. So and that's the thing. I think that it should be built. I don't think all trust should be given right away. I've learned too much in my life that's not the wise decision. And maybe occasionally that can work out, but a lot of the time, man, it has not worked out for me. So I've really learned that I want to lead with trust. I don't want to walk around damaged. I don't want to walk around trusting no one, right? But I think for me, what I've learned is wise in my life is just small increments, right? I'll trust someone with a little bit here. And when they show me that they are trustworthy in that way, I can trust a little bit more and a little bit more, right? I'm not going to give someone my social security number and my bank account information on the first date, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I just think it's really important, guys, that we start to allow vulnerability in our lives. We have to allow this because, with all the struggles that are happening, there are people that are beside you right now that are struggling more than you would ever know, and you have no idea. Don't let it be one of those things to where it goes down and you say, I had no idea. They always seemed happy. They always helped me with my stuff, right? Like, be that person that is proactive. Be that person that has a sit down conversation with your friends and family or whoever, and not all at once, but like a one-on-one kind of thing. Like, hey, I'm so glad we're hanging out and we're training right now, but I'm really seeking deeper connections in my life. And I realized that part of that is that I have to be a little bit more real. I have to be more real about what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And I want to know if you're down to have a real conversation. And they probably, most likely, are going to be like, yeah, of course. And then you share that one thing. Sometimes these things don't happen just by accident. Oftentimes they don't. Oftentimes you have to be the one to lead. And when you lead with vulnerability, it really does open the doorway for others to then be vulnerable with you. So I just really encourage you guys to do that. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a life update. So I am taking a little bit of a slower work month this month. I have known that I've really needed to reassess for a little while now, and this is the month that I'm choosing to do that. I have felt a lot of different feelings, but it's all been the same. It's all been the same, and I think the best way I can really describe it is like this restlessness inside of my soul and inside of my spirit, and also a resistance to what I'm currently doing and to my current schedule. And, the other day I took some time and I looked back through my journal, and I recognized the pattern of what I've been dealing with has actually been here for a while. And I keep trying to find solutions, and I keep trying to fix it and say, okay, I'll pivot, I'll adjust, I will, change around my work schedule. It must be the way that I'm doing what I'm doing throughout the week. And if I reallocate my energy and block off some things and, maybe open up my schedule here and open it up here. And, I need to reallocate time and energy management, right? And I've just been trying all these things until finally I kind of just got to this month and I was like, I'm tapping out, man. I'm tapping out on what I can currently do. And I know that life comes in ebbs and flows. And I've gone through seasons before where I'm just like not sure exactly of what's like what I am trying to process. And what I've really learned in these moments is to just do the next right thing, right? So when I look back at my journal and I see the things that I was feeling and experiencing, and that's why I really believe journaling is really important, guys, because it's not just for the moment of when you are, being able to get all these thoughts and feelings out of your head and onto paper and to process them better. And it's not just, for that day, but they're amazing to look back on, guys. I learn so much about myself, and I actually have a lot of self-growth from being able to look back on the last couple of years in my journals and see like, what was I journaling about? What was I praying about? What were the struggles that I was having? At what times in my life was I super happy? Was I fulfilled? And what was a part of my life? What was not a part of my life? What kind of boundaries was I holding myself to? What kind of, what was going on? I really assess all of it because it just teaches me so much. And sometimes we can forget everything that we've gone through. And sometimes we cannot see a connection between what we're currently going through and what we were going through 2 years ago. We think that we're free from what we were dealing with 2 years ago. But when you look through the pattern of your journal entries up till now, you may realize there are some things that actually haven't really fully been addressed or haven't fully been solved, or maybe that you're still struggling with. In which case, for me, in any area of my life, if I have not overcome something, if I have not fully healed or found a solution for or overcome a battle that I'm having, whatever it is, then that's an issue, right? Because for me, one, overcoming is who I am. I was literally created to overcome. I know that. So if I look back and see that either I've been very distracted or that I had a false sense of overcoming this thing, or that maybe I only overcame it at a certain level, then now I have the awareness of, okay, now I have to do something different. Now I have to try something that I've never tried before. Now I have to seek out wise counsel from someone who's gone where I would like to be, because this thing is still here and this thing shouldn't be here. This thing, I should have already been through it. And if I'm not, maybe there's still more for me to learn here, and I'm okay with that. But I definitely am not going to continue to use the same strategies and tools and techniques that I've been using if it's not producing the result that I want to produce in my life. So I hope talking through that helps you to understand how I think about things and how I kind of dissect my own personal evolving journey, because I'm not always working with a therapist. I'm not always working with a mentor or a coach or a trainer. I do have some amazing people in my life, and I'm so thankful I can call on them and have them speak into my life. But a lot of the time it is me doing this on my own, and journaling has just been such an amazing tool for that. So like I mentioned, I really tried a lot of different things, and I just kind of got to this point where some of the things that I was feeling is that there are moments in life that are calling my heart and soul. And yet I'm so busy in the same routine that I've always been in. I'm so busy working. I'm doing the same thing week to week to week. I'm only going on work trips. And yet there are these things that captivate my heart. These desires, these beautiful things in life that captivate my heart, captivate my soul. And I'm not feeding those things. I'm not giving my heart and soul, and I'm not giving myself the experience of these things that light my soul on fire. And when I'm not doing that, I'm suffocating. Like my soul literally feels like it's suffocating. So I actually kind of did something spontaneous and booked a trip. So you guys will end up seeing that on Instagram, I'm sure. But I booked a trip, and I really feel that this trip is going to be so much of what I need. And I feel like it's going to fulfill me in so many ways. And I just don't have answers right now for some of the things that I've been really struggling through. And, I've gone through quite the struggle, honestly. And I've really been, trying to come out of it, and I haven't been able to. And so I think, once I realized, okay, I'm feeling this way, I'm struggling through this, I considered all these different options, right? I'm like, okay, what are my options? If this is not it for me, what are my options and what can I do? And I really did consider so many different things. And then finally, I just had to take action. I had to take action on what felt like the right decision and the right move for me right now, which for me was something as simple as booking a trip. And I think I feel really called to it, actually. Right after I booked it, I had instant relief. I had instant peace. And a lot of the struggle that I was struggling through, it just got really minimized. And I feel like it's because I have this thing that I'm really looking forward to that I know is going to hit these parts of myself that have really just been not fed in a very long time. And I want to talk about desires of your heart. And I have talked about this once before on the podcast episode. But I don't know, you guys probably don't listen to all of them. Okay, there's this book actually, and it's called Captivated. It's by John and Stacy Eldridge, I believe is their last name. And it has been such an incredible book in my life. It has been a book, and this one was written for women. They actually also do have a version for men as well. And I don't remember what that one's called, but I do want to read it. So check it out, just Google it. But Captivated. And they talk about how the deepest desires of our hearts, the things that light our hearts on fire, were placed there by God, and they're there to lead us in the journey and the path of where we're meant to go in life, of what we were literally created for. I want you to stop right now and close your eyes and think about one of the things that truly just awakens your heart, awakens your soul, those things that are so breathtaking to you. If you listen to my podcast at all, you know that one of those things for me is nature and experiencing the beauty and just the incredible parts of the earth. I think Earth is so magnificent. Oh my gosh. I think Earth is, I think the galaxy and space is. I'm blown away, in a way where I almost can't breathe when I'm looking at these beautiful sights. And I know that's not everybody. I have people who, we've been looking at the same sunset with mountains and everything, and I'm literally brought to tears because it's just something that lights my soul on fire. And clearly it's something I need right now. Wow. And here's the thing. It's like, imagine a life, excuse me, imagine a life where your life is filled with the things that light your soul on fire. Imagine how you would show up. Imagine what would come out of you, right? I want you guys to think about, these things that light your heart on fire. And maybe it's something as simple as dance. Maybe dance is something that you just get into your flow. And when you get into your flow, you just feel so free and you feel so you and you feel so creative. Maybe for you, it's song and it's singing. Maybe for someone, it's art and creative type of things and designing. Maybe for others, it's numbers, which would make my brain hurt just to think about it, right? But imagine if you lived a life where your life was filled with these things. What would come out of you? What would you create? How would you show up to your family, your loved ones, your friends? How would you show up when you meet new people? What kind of energy would come out of you? And then I want you to contrast that with the energy that comes out of you when those things are not present in your life. And I didn't plan. It's funny, we talk about a podcast of vulnerability and here I am crying. I really didn't plan on getting emotional about this, but it's just really real for me right now. I can't even look at my computer screen right now because my computer screen has the most beautiful view on it of palm trees and beach. So I'm going to make my notes section bigger so I can calm down for a second. And, I'm not like trying to shy away from the vulnerability. I don't mind being vulnerable with you guys in this way. My heart and soul are starving for these things in a way that I can't express right now. And listen, I'm literally going to be there like very shortly. So I'm so excited for it. It's going to be amazing. And I'm probably going to be crying at the beach. So don't worry, that is coming. I'm good, guys. Man, how often do you go throughout your life starving yourself from these things? Maybe for you, it's shared connection with friends. Maybe it's just laughter with friends, right? For me, I love that. Like, I love laughing with friends until we cry. Who doesn't, right? I think everybody does. But maybe it's something as simple as that. And yet, because you don't have intentionality with your schedule throughout the week, you never create pockets of time for that. And now you realize it's been 3 weeks since you've belly laughed and laughed till you cried with friends. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, social media and FaceTime and through technology, it's not the same. It's just not. It provides a level of connection so I don't feel completely alone. But in person is completely different. When you're in person having that laugh, it's just 10 times better than on FaceTime. And I'll take the FaceTime. I'll take the over, social media when I can. But if you guys have any part of yourselves that feel like it's starving, and maybe you don't even recognize it, maybe you don't have the awareness yet to realize that that's what's happening. There may be some people listening to the show right now and you deal a lot with depression and anxiety and even suicidal thoughts, and you don't understand why. And it's because you lack a level of self-awareness to really identify where it's coming from. And this is not everyone, but I feel like it's some people. And you just haven't had the awareness to realize that you're not feeding yourself all of the different nutrients that you need. And I'm not talking about food right now. I'm talking about there are so many different aspects to who you are. We're not made just to work. Even if you love your job, we're not made just to work. We're made to work. We're made to laugh, to play, to cry, to connect, to love. We're made for so many different things. And if you're not giving yourself the experience of these things, oftentimes there's one area or multiple areas that are completely suffocating or shut down, or that maybe you've closed the door on and put a huge bolt lock over it, right? And if you do that, you're not going to realize that that's the thing inside of you that is crying out. And that's the thing, guys, when we are going through different things in life, and this is not a blanket statement for every single situation, so please don't take it that way. But guys, when we are really struggling, we really have to get present. I think if you'll first get really present with yourself and practice presence, right? And ask yourself, how do I practice presence? So many different modalities, right? For me, it can be getting a workout in, cold plunging, sauna, meditation, and breath work. Meditation and breath work are probably the top two, I think, in cold plunging, that can really get me into presence pretty quickly. And then from there, then I'm able to really open up. Sometimes people can't be vulnerable with others because they have no idea how to even access parts of themselves. So different modalities of getting present and practicing being present, like the cold plunging and sauna and prayer and meditation and all these things, right? They can help you become present so you can be aware to what's actually there. And when you do that, you are able to then identify, okay, what parts of me are not being expressed? What parts of me feel like they are in a prison or feel like they've been starving? What are the nutrients that I need to give myself? Maybe you are a very spiritual person, and yet in the last 3 weeks, you haven't given yourself any spiritual food. And you wonder why you're struggling. You wonder why your work performance and focus is going down. You wonder why you lack motivation in your training and in your relationships and in your friendships and in life in general. And it's because you're not getting these foundational nutrients that you need inside of your life, inside of your emotions, your mentality, your spirituality, your connections, your relationships. There are so many different nutrients that we need in order to be whole and healthy and happy and functioning human beings. So I really just want to I want to encourage you guys that have also been struggling, that feel like maybe there are parts of yourself that have been suffocated, that you haven't been feeding recently. And I want to encourage you to feed it in some way, even in just the smallest way. Maybe you can't book a trip right now, and that's okay. I've been in that scenario too. Actually, I have not booked a vacation for myself in years, and I've actually never taken a vacation solo. So, I had to take that kind of massive action for where I'm at. And I also am so incredibly freaking grateful and blessed and thankful that I was able to do that. I think part of it is because I haven't vacationed in years, right? But my point for saying that is, let's say that you can't do that. Find a way that you can have a touch point even with the things that light your soul on fire, because these desires and these things that captivate your heart, I believe that they are kind of like a guiding trail of where you're meant to go in life. And I think when I got emotional earlier, I think I got off track a little bit. I was talking about the desires of your heart and the things that captivate your soul. And I believe that those things are there to guide you along your path. And I don't think that we're meant to go weeks and months and years without these things. We're just not. So I encourage you to identify what those things are in your life, and to figure out how you can have touch points with those things, how you can incorporate more of those things into your life. And ultimately, the goal, I think, and at least my goal in my life, is how can I create a life where that is my life? My life consists consistently of the things that just awaken my heart and awaken my soul. Also, guys, identify what are the things that diminish your spirit. What are the things that make you close down, shut off, and not want to open up, and not want to be vulnerable, and not want to be fully yourself? What are those things that make you want to numb, or that just make you numb yourself in general? This could be a toxic relationship, right? Where you're in the relationship and all of a sudden you have this awareness that you are not yourself. You are not the person that you were before this relationship. And it's really taking a toll on you. It is exhausting you. It's draining you. Man, I'll tell you what, I've witnessed some people in my life recently who have gotten out of some toxic and very abusive situations. And I literally, one, have been praying for years that this would happen. And two, have gotten to watch them like this really wilted flower that was on its very last drip of water, drinking that last drip of water to keep it alive. It finally got separated from the weeds and the toxicity and the things that were pulling all of the nutrients out of it. And this flower, I'm now watching it bloom and have color again. And I'm watching it grow and get bigger and stronger and happier and vibrant again. Guys, if you don't realize that a happier, more vibrant you exists out there, I'm here to tell you it does. So maybe you're one of those people that is struggling more than you'd like to admit right now, even to yourself. You don't even want to admit to yourself right now how much you're struggling, and you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're feeling that unbearable feeling of, I don't know how much longer I can do this, right? A feeling like this is all just too much. I want to help you understand and bring you into the awareness that there's a different version of you that exists out here. There's a different version of you up ahead that is vibrant, so full of life, so full of natural energy, so awakened at the deepest parts of your heart and soul, with the friendships you desire, with the relationship that you desire, with a work situation that lights your soul on fire, with finances, with all of these things that are troubling you right now. I understand that you're like, this is horrible and all these areas of my life is hard, right? There's a different version of your life all entirely that exists. So don't stop right before it gets good. You guys, we've all seen that meme of that guy who's in the gold mine, right? And he's chipping away at the stone and the brick. And right before he gets to the treasure, he puts his head down in discouragement and he walks away and he quits and he gives up. And if he had just given it one more day, one more swing, he would have gotten to the treasure. And I just think that there are some people listening right now that I literally believe that's how close you are. And that's not for everyone. Some people, it's going to take a few more days. It's going to take a few more swings. It's going to take you creating some massive action and hitting harder. Some of you, man, you need to find your fight. You need to find your fight again. And I know that you're feeling tired and overwhelmed and overworked. Get some sleep, right? Get some quality sleep first and foremost. Secondly, fuel your body with proper food, right? Take a pause. Everybody, call in sick if you have to for one day. Call in sick and give yourself, your mind, your body, your emotions, the time that it needs to have just a freaking minute to breathe, right? And take that minute for yourself. Take that day for yourself. And when you come back, you have to make a promise and a commitment to yourself that you are going to lace up those shoes and you're going to tie them tight, and you are going to come back with a vengeance, with a healthy vengeance, that you're not going to give up that easy, that you are not going to give up right before it gets good, with a knowing inside of your heart, soul, and spirit that there's a different version of you that exists and that you've got to fight for that version of you. Every single one of us right now that is listening to this, and myself included, we have all been through something in our life that we thought might take us out. I'm willing to bet we've all been there. And so how did you so easily forget? How did you so easily forget that you've already made it through the hardest thing you've ever been through in your life? And now you're going to give up after having overcome that season of your life? Are you kidding? No. I'm not going to let you do that. And you can't let you do that to yourself either. Because what's ahead is better and more beautiful and more fulfilling than you could ever imagine in your life. So don't you dare give up on that. Don't you dare give up on that. Your future version of yourself right now, the one that is happy and fulfilled and thriving and has just this inner peace. Maybe they don't even have all of the outward things that you think you want right now, but maybe they just have this inward peace and this joy that you don't even know is possible yet. They're looking at you right now saying, don't you dare give up. Like, I promise it gets good. And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes all you need is someone to be a little bit further ahead of you, whether it's your future self or it's someone like me that's here to remind you that it gets good. And sometimes guys, it can literally be in the drop of a hat. You can literally be one phone call away from things changing. I'm going to give you a real example of this because some of you were like, yeah, that sounds great, Emily. Quite a few years ago, I was struggling financially. And I didn't know how I was going to pay for the new apartment that we had just signed on. I was with an ex at the time, and I just had a lot of things going on and I was really struggling. I was barely making ends meet. When I was traveling, I wasn't able to order a Starbucks because I literally had just enough money to pay for my baggage and to get on the flight and to go to the event. And I travel. I have a really crappy flight. I get to my destination at like 1, 2 in the morning, and I wasn't even going to check my phone, but I last minute checked my phone. And when I checked my phone, I wondered why I had like 100 texts and my DMs were blowing up like crazy. And it's because this one thing that I had gone for, it was the first form athlete search, right? The trainer search or the best trainer, whatever it was at the time. I had gone for that, I think like maybe 7 times and never won. You know, I'm a small fish in a big sea, right? And I had gone for it so many times and I'd never won. And guess what? This time I won. And this time, literally overnight, I won $10,000. And listen, I'm not going to say that this is going to happen for everybody. I've had a similar experience in the form of getting a job, signing a client, making a sale that really helped me out, right? But guys, it's literally sometimes a phone call away. It's a notification away. So don't you dare give up on yourself before you get that. What if that morning I had said, why am I even flying there? I can barely even get there. I'm stressed beyond my limit. I've been crying all night the night before. Like, I don't know how any of this is going to work out. That's it. What if I had given up there? And from that moment, like, I just saw such an upward trajectory of my life. And I'm just so glad and I'm so thankful that I didn't give up. And so sometimes what helps me, guys, when I'm really struggling, when I can't really see what's ahead, is I'm like, okay, if I can't see what's ahead, let me look back. What did I used to do? What did I do when things got hard? And what happened? What ended up happening? Did things get way worse and continue to get worse? And did they stay where they're at? Guys, things never stay where they're at. Things are always on an upward trajectory. It doesn't mean that it's a perfect line upward. It goes up and it goes down and then it goes up and then down, but the trajectory of it is all up. And I think that's what we have to remember, guys. We would be crazy to think that life is just going to be sunshine and rainbows and always on the up, just always completely positive. It's not. We're humans. We are experiencing the human experience. And guys, at some point, you and I, we all have to come to the reality that part of the human experience are really hurtful things at times. Is loss, is heartache, is despair, is failure, is feeling overwhelmed, feeling like it's too much. We have to stop allowing our feelings to dictate our vision for our life. Go back to your vision for your life. What did you envision for your life? What did you hope for your life? What did you plan for your life? You can't allow the vision to be tarnished by your current season. Seasons are seasons, and sometimes you get hit by a really hard winter. Does a rough winter ever stop summer from coming a few months later? No. Winter happens, and then it's spring, and then summer comes, and guess what? Fall's right after that. So no matter how hard the winter was, summer is always coming. You just need to have the awareness of understanding that you're in a winter season, and that's all it is. Sometimes you just got to chalk it up to I'm in a winter season. And something that a friend said once, it was actually Nick Comodina on I believe he said it on my podcast. And he mentioned how he had this moment. It was on my podcast. I'm remembering it even more now. He mentioned how I believe he was on a vacation. I believe he was in Bora Bora, and he had just lost thousands of dollars in, what was that? Like some sort of like crypto or something like that. Don't quote me on that. It was one of those things that I'm clearly not involved in. I think it was Bitcoin maybe. He lost thousands of dollars, right? And it really hit him hard. And he was just like, he was really wrapped up in that, whatever. He was having a really difficult moment, loses thousands of dollars. He's in Bora Bora, like just having the hardest time. And then all of a sudden, the awareness popped in on him. Okay, I used to have these breakdowns and these hardest moments of my life, and this moment of not knowing how this is going to work out in a trailer, in an apartment with no furniture, right? And he mentioned how every quote unquote hardest moment of his life has continued to improve. And that's actually been something that's helped me a lot recently too, because I remember a hardest moment of my life when I was sleeping in my car because I didn't have somewhere to sleep for that night. I was in between friends' houses and such, right? And I was sleeping in my car, and I was so beaten down and broken and alone and isolated. And I just didn't want to live life like that. And I didn't see a way out, and I didn't understand. And I was so hurt, and I was so young, right? That was hard. Me and my beautiful house that I live in now with my two perfect Frenchies who I love more than anything else, going through a hard moment. Me and her, we are not the same. It's not the same. So I can damn well handle anything that I'm going through now. And here's the thing. I would have said the same thing at my apartment when I lived in an apartment in LA when I couldn't afford to buy myself a rug for my room. And I know that's something really stupid and it's not a big deal to a lot of people. It's just a little thing that at the time I kind of just wanted, right? It's like, damn, I just want to be able to afford a rug on my bedroom floor, right? I would have said the same thing. That me and that girl that was in my car, we are not the same. So I want you with perspective to look back on your own life and ask yourself, what is that hardest moment of your life that should have taken you out, that could have taken you out, that didn't take you out? Because if you can remember that, and you can also prove to yourself that you had amazing moments. Like I think about the best moments of my life, right? I think about them in my head, and they're moments that now people would probably think bring me a lot of pain. I'll just say it. My wedding night. If you guys don't know, I used to be married. Not married anymore, clearly. My wedding night, still to this day, I think that was one of the best moments of my life. It was incredible. That love that I had and shared, it was so real for me. And I still to this day look back on it as the most beautiful moment of my life, one of the most beautiful moments. And I still cherish that, even though that's not a part of my life anymore. I don't hold any resentment. I don't hold any ill feeling towards him or that at all. I actually still just have so much gratitude for the fact that if I died tomorrow, I got to experience that. And that's cool. You know, I really want to experience the fullness of the human experience here. And I'm thankful for that. And so I think about the hardest moment of that girl beaten down, broken, confused, isolated, alone in her car, sleeping, not having anywhere to sleep, being a teenager at the time. And I think about her and I'm like, man, thank God she kept going, because she then got to experience that moment of love and togetherness and intimacy. You know, I'm so thankful for that. I also got to experience walking across stage and accomplishing something that was really hard for me, graduating from Texas A&M University, a whoop, you know, but I had put myself through school. I had gone through some really crazy, unthinkable things and overcome a lot of things during those years in college that for me to actually walk across that stage, I'll never be able to explain what that meant to me. And so, man, to that previous version of myself, thank you for not giving up in a really hard moment, because it got much better. And those moments now don't compare to the moments that I have had since then, right? And the beautiful experiences I've been able to have in life since then. So guys, I say all this to say both of those things are a part of the human experience, the hilltop moments and the lows. I think that the magic in life is when you stop giving so much power to the lows and when you stop giving so much power to the highs, when you stop giving so much power to the people that speak negatively of you, and when you stop giving so much power to those that speak the highest of you, right? I think the magic in life is when you learn how to just go through the process of life, how to place the happiness and the importance and the joy and the value on everyday things, the things and the moments and the days that are in between these highs and lows of life. Because guess what? Most of your life is going to be in the in-between. So it's kind of like the life hack, right? Is if you can learn how to navigate the in-between. Stop living for the hilltop moments. They're not that often. Stop living for the hilltop moments in your relationships, in your spirituality, and in your faith. And stop defining your life, your relationships, your faith, your business by those low moments, by the moments of failure, by the moments of confusion and wanting to quit. I think you have to get to the moment of wanting to quit, and then you have to choose not to quit in order to have your own real tangible experience of knowing that that's literally all you have to do in life, guys, is you have to choose to not quit. So choose not to quit in business. Choose not to quit in your relationships. Choose not to quit in your faith. Choose not to quit. Choose not to quit. You don't have to choose for 365 days. That's overwhelming. No way in hell I can take 365 days of my worst day, right? And that's how it feels when you're on your worst day. When you're on a hard day, it feels like I cannot do this anymore. What you don't know is that in 3 days, you're going to have a great day. Maybe then tomorrow you have a great day. So I'm not asking you to choose not to quit for 365 days. I'm not even asking you to do that for 2 days. Just do that for today. Literally just for today. Say, all right, I'm going to do my workout depressed. I'm going to show up to my work feeling less than my best. I'm going to do it not feeling confident, do it not feeling secure in myself. I'm going to do it not knowing the outcome of it, not having full assurance and security in the outcome of how this turns out. Sometimes you got to feel the fear and you got to do it anyways, right? So feel what you're feeling and do it anyways. Feel what you're feeling and choose not to quit. Feel what you feel and choose to be vulnerable. Choose to be vulnerable with people who truly do want the best for you. And here's the thing, guys. Sometimes you have to lead by example, and you have to be that person where when someone brings you their mess and they bring you the ugly parts of themselves, we all have it, to not try to fix, not try to save, definitely not judge, but instead to sit back and understand that they are you. They are you in a different form. And I think once we realize that, guys, we can have a lot less judgment and a lot less fear around judgment. And we can start to create and cultivate these deeply intimate and connected relationships that we all desire. So I hope that today's podcast episode just sparks some thoughts in you. I hope that it inspired you to take a look at your own life, to take a look at your own relationships, to look at your faith, to look at your relationship with yourself even, and to really have a clear assessment of where you're currently at. And I hope it encourages you to simply choose to not quit today, because that may just be all that you need to do in order for everything in your life to change. And I hope that it also helps you to reprioritize what you value the most in life. Don't put the most importance on the hilltop or the most importance on the low. Find the middle. Find the middle. Find the joy in the mundane of life. There's a book called The Miracle in the Mundane, maybe, or The Miracle Day, something like that, by Tim Story. Definitely butchering that. Just Google it. Just Google Tim Story Miracle. It might be Miracle Mentality. And that will help you to place such a new meaning on your everyday life. And I think that'll help a lot. But I do want to end the episode here because we have been going for a little bit here. So I don't really have answers for you guys when it comes to my personal life, but I did want to be open and share. And actually, I'm glad that I got a little emotional. I didn't plan on it, but I think it's only fitting for a podcast titled Vulnerability and Getting Vulnerable. But I'll update you guys when I can. You know, a Monday message didn't go live this week, and that was intentional. I got to take a little step back, even from my podcast, even from the content that I'm producing. I can't currently right now, I can't force myself to produce. I need to come on here and I need to share the things that I feel are really on my heart with you guys. And I feel that those things will be well timed. But right now, I need that step back. So I hope that you guys can respect that and understand that. And I hope that you guys can support it as well. You know, there's definitely, one of the fears around that is that I've been working endlessly, especially, for the last couple of years, but especially since April 2021 on this podcast. And I've grown it from 25,000 downloads to 110,000 downloads. We hit this last 2 months in a row. And I want to thank you guys for that. And one of the fears is that by taking a step back is that I'm going to have a really bad month, right? And for me, performance is a lot for me. I'm willing to take that. However, if you guys want to help me out, and if you guys want to be a part of just sharing the message of this show in general, then something that you guys can do during this month of June especially is, because I'm not posting often, go back and revisit episodes that you really enjoyed. Download them, rate and review the show, share the episodes on your Instagram story or tag it to a friend. That's truly a way that you guys are able to help spread the message of the show and also just help the show grow. And then lastly, of course, I've mentioned it a few times and I'll mention it again. Go ahead and try out some Cured Nutrition products. The partnerships is going to be the next avenue for this show. And in order for partnerships to continue and to flourish and to blossom into something that can really sustain the show and what I do on here and where I take the show moving forward, in order for them to be successful, there has to be people supporting the partnerships that I bring on the show. So just know that when you guys do that, it actually has a great impact on the partnerships moving forward. So I just really want to say thank you guys so much for that. Thank you guys for listening. If you listened to the entirety of this episode, I appreciate you guys so much, more than you guys will know. And yeah, I guess that's it for right now. If you guys ever have any suggestions, especially if you guys have suggestions for the podcast, I'm really wanting to take it in such a new direction, and I have a lot of thoughts and ideas on that. One of the main things is I really want to bring on a co-host or co-hosts, will you? I've listened to a few podcasts, and sorry, I know I keep trying to end the show, but if you guys are here, then you're in it, so thanks. One podcast that I've listened to recently is Impulsive, and Impulsive is actually really cool. They have a really cool dynamic. And I have actually really enjoyed watching just people do what they love with people that they love and the friendships that they've been able to create within that. And to be honest, guys, It's something I really desire. I love the podcast. I love what I do, but there are parts of myself that feel suffocated. And I think part of that, one of those parts is definitely doing what I love with people that I love, and that shared connection and that shared experience. And I just imagine like how amazing and how fulfilling it would be to do what I do with people that are, I don't know. I'm inspired by the Impulsive Show and their crew that they have going on there. And I feel like that could be a next step for me. I don't really know how that works out, but it's on my mind and it's on my heart, and I'm thinking about it and praying about it. I have this beautiful home and I have space for people if that were a thing, if that needed to happen in order to make the podcast thing grow and happen from there. So just a lot of thoughts and things that are on my mind. I'm just very openly, vulnerably sharing that with you guys. None of that is like processed thought. It's just these things that are up in the air right now. And I feel like this trip that I'm going on is going to give me the time and the space and just the connection to God, to nature, to myself that I need in order to sort through these things. But I guess I wanted to share with you guys just what's on my heart and mind, because I think you guys are awesome and you guys have great ideas and suggestions. So if you have any, feel free to DM me or DM at Evolve with Emily podcast on Instagram. And I'd love to hear some of your feedback or suggestions. So, okay, the show's actually ending now. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.